Oh, so that's where we were. Uh, Lady, we're all in a hurry here. So, back at the library, because I need a good point of reference for where we're going. We're gonna go right behind us, because the last hint we got was something about Irmali Well. And this big old building here is Irmali Place. And inside is a puzzle, because of course there is. The goal of which is to get this center platform to go down, but unfortunately we don't know what to do with this. But if we go over here, there's a map. Now in the middle of the map, there are 4 purple squares, which correspond to symbols that you need to find. You go to each location, you'll find a symbol on the wall somewhere. So the first one is underneath this place here. You go under the water, and the symbol is on the wall right there. Next one is underneath this random bridge. Go up the ramp next to that bridge into the balcony restaurant. And over here in the corner, you find symbol number 3. And then the final symbol is inside the sorcery shop on this random pedestal here. So, you make note of all those symbols and where they are in relation to this big arrow here. And all you have to do is just plug them in. First one here is the pound symbol, which is not quite a pound symbol. Blah, 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 blah. Next one is the circle with a cross through it. And then the final 2 below the arrow are the 2 wavy lines. They're both the same. Don't go to the bottom of the well! Scary girls are down there! Yeah, whatever. Ooh. So, down here we come to the next puzzle. And this one is Simon Says. Each of the 4 pedestals surrounding the center one correspond to a musical note. And you have to activate them in sequence. And you have to do this twice. So if you didn't know the order there, it was bottom left, top right, bottom right, top left, facing the weird alien tunnel thing. Top right, bottom left, top left. Okay. This one's ordering is a bit wonkier. Goes top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left, top left, then bottom left. And we've done it! Only for there to be yet another puzzle! But first, items! What's this? It's a mana potion. That's useless. What's this? A life potion. That's mildly useful. Now, this little platform here is infamous. It's very difficult to get on. And I have no advice other than just keep futzing about with it. Symbols engraved on the surface. Strange. So, to briefly explain this, these correspond to the number of... okay, just make note that those things are there and they have little tally marks next to them. So, when in the next room, there's a whole bunch of caskets. And there are symbols on the wall that correspond to the symbols on the platform. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to count the number of caskets in the symbol's direction, and eventually you'll be led all the way over to the second casket on the far end. Second from the right. And this is the correct one. Every single one of these caskets... He picked it up with his wrist. Why? Oh, whatever. All these caskets have a fake jewel of Viagra Muka inside. That's the only real one. Beautiful. And we're out of here! So I'm not going to bother going through step by step that puzzle. It's this... Go to the far end, and it's the second one from the far right. That's the correct casket. And now that we've done that, the place we're having to go is to Jeanpur, so I'll meet you there. And we're back! Now, it should be said, this is the... No, not yet. Not yet. But we're going to go to the rooftops area that we went to go do the pirate shaman activities with the pirate box. Only this time, we're going to the park. Because if you'll remember, we've got to resurrect a mummy named Kiwan. And here we are. Quick save. Now, our goal is inside the Great Deku Tree there. Before we go there, we need to do a couple of errands. Notably, this one over here. Hey, that feather wasn't there. And whatever. Pick it up. Oh. Well, okay, that can be fixed. Let's eat this mana potion. So, pick up the Jimpan feather. And we're going to combine that with the Drops of Shadow for the last spell we will do in this entire game. And that is the Resurrection spell. If you will recall, we got that a long time ago, right before we met Boz. Or, well, what feels like a long time ago. And these are Jinpans. Aren't they creepy? They're like skull parrot things. But I said before, there's a much better opportunity for you to be given that spell, and it would actually be in the second Awakened base when you are actually told about Kiwan. But whatever. Second errand we need to run before we do anything else is we need to go all the way through these random wall ruins. Is there any Dark Souls lore about this? No, you just get a random hint. There's a book somewhere that you can find. I didn't bother looking for it again, because I did it a long time ago when I beat this game. But you get a hint about how the jewel is overlooking the park, and that's where it is, the last Viagra Muka jewel. So, now that those two errands are finished, we come back to the center point, and we come across this little cave here with all these symbols on the wall, on buttons. Now, if we go into our inventory, we have a journal or book called Massau Ruins. And we see a bunch of symbols that correspond to letters in the alphabet. The English alphabet, which why Feynman uses English is beyond me, but nevertheless. And the goal here is to spell out Kiwan using these symbols. Now, I forget the second one, or I don't really forget so much as I want to make sure that I'm hitting the right one. I can't really give you any kind of order. It's just kind of diagonal line. It's long diagonal line, tiny dot in the corner, two vertical lines, and then the next one's going to be a horizontal line, just by itself, a single horizontal line. The next one is a short diagonal with two swoops. Oh wait, that's the last one. That's right, there was only 5. But you spell out Kiwan, and it takes you down. Boy, that model looks familiar. What was his name? Zendar? A mummy. The remains of Kiwan the magician, I suppose. Let's resurrect the mummy! That's always worked out.
Who dares summon me back from the realm of the dead?
Me! I brought you back to life because I need your help.
What do you want from me, poor mortal?
I have to go to Hamastagan to bring back the Book of Naut.
Why do you seek the Book of Naut? Are you also in search of power, like so many other humans? Is it the quest for wealth and power that has drawn you into the entrails of the catacombs?
I thought it was a tree. Well, I need the book to destroy Astaroth.
Do you not know that Hamastagan is the city of the dead? That no one has ever returned from it alive?
Well, sure I do. I know all that, but I must go there. The survival of my soul depends on it.
The magicians of the ancient art protected their tombs with 1,000 spells. You go to meet your death. But if such is your desire, my only power will help you to open the eastern gate.
Where is this eastern gate?
All you need to know to enter Hamastagan is engraved in this wall. Now, let me return to the realm of shadows.
And return he does. Alright. So, literally, all this guy does, in terms of prophecy, is open 3 doors. So he told us all we need to know is engraved on this wall. Well, let's look at these walls. Okay. No idea what I'm looking at. Well, let's go take a look at this other wall. Okay. Still no idea what I'm looking at. I mean, I get that that plus sign is the tree in the middle, but that was pointless. And not helpful at all. Let's go back out the elevator. That little lever is under the water. And those wall drawings are supposed to give you a hint to where it is. Me, back when I played this, I just kind of found it by just exploring. Because I noticed that it was under the water, so whenever the cutscene comes up, so I just went in the water and started looking around, and eventually I found it. Where is this eastern gate? Well, it's helpful that he told us eastern, because it is in fact east of the tree. Now that lever opens up a door. You have to do the Kiwan nonsense so that way he'll open up that lever gate and then you can activate the lever. And if you go all the way up these ruins, this thing right here is the eastern gate. If you had not flipped that lever, that would have been closed by rock. Giant head sculpted in stone. 3 notches have been carved into it. This is the point where you need all 3 Viagramuka's jewels. And if you don't have the correct green one, you'll find out here. And you'll feel really bad. This gate here is the actual point of no return. You need to make sure you have all the items you're going to want before you go down here. Because this little sequence starts, and the door closes behind you, and you cannot open it again. It would be helpful if they had told you that, because you might have left your spell of invulnerability back there, and by the way, there is no computer down here for you to get stuff out of your item box. Which, hey, points for dedication. There wouldn't be any computers down here, of course. What's he hanging on to? He's hanging on to air! And now for an establishing shot. A city, an underground city, cut out of giant stalactites. And hey, he actually used the correct term. It's stalactites if they're coming from the ceiling. The city looks deserted, but the system of pulleys and gantry seem to be well maintained. The bridges to the central stalactite are all closed. If I can reach this rope, I'll surely be able to get there. Alright. What was that? Well, whoever it was, they must have raised the bridge. Now, spread throughout here are a couple of items. They're all magic rings. Actually, I do think one of them is a life potion, but we don't care at this point. We have so many healing items on us. This entire... What was that? Ah! Who was that? They're teleporting! It is genuinely impressive that they actually bother to have... We'll find out they're Azkeel actually wandering around, and you can see them if you're paying attention. It is kind of nice, but over here... so many things are happening, and happening so fast. That little button, I had to look up a guide for that. Which brings me to a central point of discussion. This entire thing is extremely linear. There aren't really a lot of forks, and there's no real way that you can get lost. So rather than explain what you do. Every time I've seen people LP this game, they've all looked up a guide. For me, I'll tell you, I had to look up a guide exactly twice when I first played this game. Because I didn't play it when it originally came out. I played it when it was put up for free on Steam. And that's when I played it for the first time. And I figured everything out, except for two things. One was that button on the wall, because I just couldn't find it. See, this one's a bit easier to see, but the other one just blended into the wall so well I couldn't find it. Or I didn't notice it, so I looked up a guide. I went, where do I go in here? Oh, there's a button on the wall. And the second time I looked up a guide was down in the well, the little musical Simon Says puzzle. I had to look up a guide for that because I'm tone deaf. And I just couldn't tell the difference. All the notes sounded the same to me. So those were the two times I looked up a guide. However, no guide I've ever found gives information for that mecha section way back in Enekba. No guide I've ever seen has information on that. That I definitely found on my own. But finally we reach the center. Music got cut off. Hey. What strange beings. They've got blue skin and their stocky bodies are covered with animal hides. They must be really tough fighters. Who is this?
The spirits of the dead predicted your coming. So, you are the Nomad soul announced by the prophecy. Looking at you, it's hard to believe that you are going to change the fate of our universe.
Who are you?
I am Soyinka, the goddess queen, daughter of Matanbakus, the renegade sorcerer. I am the last great master of the ancient art, still living on this planet.
Who is Matambukus?
Matanbakus, my father, was a great sorcerer, perhaps the greatest ever born in Phanon. He is the one who brought together all the secrets of the art in the Book of Naut.
Where is Matambukus now?
My father disappeared shortly after bringing together all his knowledge in the Book of Naut. He may be dead. Perhaps he could not bear to live without honor.
How did he lose his honor?
I can tell you no more for the moment. My only wish is that I may one day find him.
What is this place?
You are in the Azkeel city of Mayren. In the temple the Azkeels have raised to my glory.
Your glory. The Azkeels?
The Azkeels are the beings who live here. They built this city to protect themselves from the dangers of the catacombs. They live in peace, far from humans.
Where do the Azkeels come from?
The Tetra Trust wanted to create beings capable of resisting extreme working conditions in extraterrestrial mines. The Azkeels are the result of their failed experiments. They managed to escape before Tetra could destroy them. They took refuge in the catacombs.
Tell me about the Nomad Soul Prophecy.
A prophecy engraved on the walls of Hamashtagen predicts that one day a nomad soul will come to destroy the son of evil. If the Nomad soul fails, the demon will become the master of our universe. A chance to destroy him won't come again for 999,000 years.
Wow, that's a long time! Can you help me find the Book of Nout?
I suspected you were looking for the Book of Nout. The terrible secrets it contains have attracted many men before you. None have ever come back alive.
Do you know where the book is?
The Book of Nout is in the Hammerstagen necropolis, the city of the dead.
What part of the necropolis is it in?
I don't know exactly. All I know is that the magicians of the ancient art took it with them to their last resting place in order to make sure it never fell into the hands of men. 1,000 traps and spells protect it from human greed. Only a very exceptional being could acquire it.
Where is Hammerstagen?
A passage in the rock, not far from Mayrim, will give you access to Hammerstagen. Find yourself a sham and you will be able to go there.
Thanks for your assistance, Goddess Queen Soyika. I shall succeed or die trying.
I pray to Vyagramuka that you may be the one announced in the prophecy. Go now. Go to embrace your destiny. The fate of Omikron is in your hands.
Alright. I've got nothing new to tell her. I'm out of here. But first, save the game.